Hey, welcome back. All kinds of breaking news out there, not the least of which is that Bernie Sanders finally won a contest officially. And to break that down for us today in my favorite segment, to mix it up, Democrat David Eisenbach joins us. He's a professor at Columbia University, ran for New York City public advocate. And Johnny Burnett joins us, also managing director of One Empire Group and ran for New York City comptroller. Johnny, I think Bernie finally got one on the board here. They let him win.
Yeah.
They didn't stop him from winning.
Well, it was a little delayed, but he actually ended up winning. But, the thing is, when you compare 2016 and 2020, this is really too close for comfort. Yes, we know that there were a lot of people that are actually running in this particular race. Another winner last night is Amy Klobuchar. She's actually clearly carved out that middle lane. Of course, we know Bloomberg will actually start picking up some steam when the races go across the state. But yes, Bernie did win. It is conclusive, but a little bit too close for the Bernie camp.
The problem or the good thing for the Bernie camp is A, they got the money. They raised $25 million in January alone. B, they got the ground troops in every single state. I mean, the team Bernie is pretty fervent and pretty strong. All right. The other problem for, let's say, Buttigieg is Klobuchar. She is, if the two of them split that moderate Democrat vote, that clears the path for Bernie to win.
Yeah, I think you're right. Bernie seemed like he was pretty fired up last night also when he finally found out he won. I want to take a look at a little bit of what he had to say to his troops when the results came in and get your thoughts on that. Here's a little bit of Bernie.
Because of the hard work of so many volunteers, and let me say tonight that this victory here is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump.
David, that sounds a little deep. He's trailing in state delegate votes, and he's already spelling the end for Donald Trump.
Well, that's he's got to win the Democratic nomination, which he is in great shape for, because now the race moves to more urban communities. And when you have the national profile, the money, and Bernie's base, it's going to be very hard for Buttigieg, Klobuchar, and even Biden at this point to compete.
So Biden is no longer competing. I've been saying for a month he's limping into the race, and it looks like he's
Biden's strategy was always to write off Iowa, write off New Hampshire, and have the South Carolina firewall. Then have Nevada. And then hopefully get those two wins would then bring a momentum going into Super Tuesday. So it's actually following Biden's plan.
Johnny, I want to ask you this. Recently, the New York Times did something that's never been done before. They endorsed two candidates, Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren. And then when we had the Iowa results come in, we basically wound up with two winners, Bernie and Mayor Pete. And the big thing I heard last night across CNN and MSNBC is, well, if Mayor Pete and Amy were one, they would have beat Bernie. So they're already putting them together as a tandem. Why does it take two to beat one on the left when it's Bernie?
Well, let's start off. First things first. New York Times is really not news. It's really internal opinion. And we can see that they got it actually wrong. So I wouldn't actually take anything that they're saying or reporting as factual. But, going back to I just want to make this quick point regarding New Hampshire.
Please do.
President Trump received more incumbent voting in New Hampshire than Obama, Bush, and Clinton. Record, more than 120,000 votes. That is awesome for an incumbent.
That's do they have a percent there? What percent of all Republican votes cast?
There wasn't a percentage, but when you look at just pure numbers, it was more than double Obama, more than double Bush, and approximately 70% more than Clinton. This president is popular, and we're just getting started.
Doubled everyone. I think the record for the New Hampshire primary for an incumbent Republican was 86%. So he may have
Wow.
beat that.
I think he did.
You'll never
Yeah.
hear that anywhere.
Yeah, Democrats have to be worried about the numbers in terms of turnout. We're not getting that enthusiasm bump that we would hope.
They told us in Iowa there's going to be such a turnout. Bernie's got, and then in New Hampshire they said, they got all these college kids. From what I heard last night, it was about a 15% bump overall. But don't forget, you got way more candidates than the last cycle where there was only 2. So each one of those draws a little bit of that turnout.
That's a very good point, John. But the thing is, that's why we're hearing messaging from Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg as far as trying to coalesce the party early. Usually you hear that talk in April, not February. Why? Because they already know from the chants during the Bernie, from the crowd at the Bernie rally, hey, Wall Street Pete, they're already causing a divide within the party. Will they be able to coalesce? I'm not sure. But you know what? Trump's momentum is building.
So Joe Biden, as far as I'm concerned, unless there's some massive African-American resurgence behind his campaign, I personally think he's done. He's shown to have a glass jaw a couple times. Hang on 1 minute.
Yeah.
The big loser to me is Elizabeth Warren. And she's from the neighboring state, right? She spent a boatload of time in New Hampshire. Let's take a look at what she had to say in her speech, and it almost looks like, to me, she's conceding.
Fight between factions in our party has taken a sharp turn in recent weeks, with ads mocking other candidates and with supporters of some candidates shouting curses at other Democratic candidates. These harsh tactics might work if you are willing to burn down the rest of the party in order to be the last man standing. They might work if you don't worry about leaving our party and our politics worse off than how you found it.
Yeah.
So, Dave, my final minute here. It seems like she's already calling
Well,
for
it just goes to show you
peace
what
in the Middle East.
It's exactly right, and it goes to show you what a worthless thing a New York Times endorsement is. Right? It's the establishment media, along with CNN. They've lost half the Democratic Party that doesn't even listen to them, that sees them as fake news, just like much of the Republican Party.
And Johnny, I'll give you the last word. This looks to me like the establishment is opening up that lane for Bloomberg to come flying right up the middle.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well,
That's how it looks to me.
What it's really saying, you know what, Elizabeth Warren, you can't win, but perhaps Amy Klobuchar can.
Yeah, so just to wrap this up and put a bow on it, after the results of last night came in, one guy who I was rooting for just as an entrepreneur and a businessman, Andrew Yang, announced that he was suspending his campaign, couldn't break out of the single digits, the low single digits. So, I guess math doesn't pay. But no, I'm sad to see him go. And then also breaking news today, Deval Patrick entered the race late and left the race early, so Deval Patrick is gone. And guys,
he didn't make it past the coat check.
That takes away.
What was that about?
That basically takes away the last African American candidate and the only Asian candidate, leading really the only minority candidate left, Tulsi Gabbard, which doesn't say a lot for the diversity of
And
the
she's
party.
really not running a campaign. She's not really out there as much. She's doing hits on media, but she's not really on the ground.
Well, according to Hillary, she's not running a campaign. She's a Russian agent. But I'm rooting for Tulsi to at least keep her pride and dignity because she's a decorated veteran.
Absolutely.
And I think she's standing up for what she believes in, like we do every single day right here on Liquid Lunch as we continue on our mission to make television great again. Quick break, more Liquid Lunch right after this.